Business October 1 of 2013, which was a remarkable feat in and of itself, considering we broke ground on our operation March 1 of 2013. So 6 months after we began construction, we started our first boxes or containers through Greer. So you can see in October of 13, we did 95 containers. Those were test containers to make sure our system worked to our expectations. And then we took off from there, opening for regular service November 1, and you can see a remarkable steady growth from day one. 2014 calendar year was our first full year of operation. We did over 40,000 rail moves. That's over 40,000 containers that moved in and out of Greer and Charleston via rail. I would tell you that through July of this year, we're already surpassed that number. So we are absolutely in a growth mode. We're trending in the right direction. Has it met our expectations? It's exceeded our expectations. And so we're excited at what the future holds. We are looking already at enhancing our equipment up here. We'll be bringing 2 new rubber tire gantry cranes to go into service later this year. They'll arrive next month and will be reassembled. So we'll go from 3 rubber tire gantry cranes on site to 5. That will improve our velocity even greater than what it is today. And then, of course, we do have the excess footprint to allow us to expand once we get to a point where we think expansion is critical to continue to serve our customers. So out of a cost standpoint, the other thing I think that's important to keep in mind is this facility would not be successful if it wasn't competitive to other modes of transportation. And so you have to make sure that a rail move is competitive to a similar truck move coming out of the market or into the market. That being said, I think it's important to note the trucking community is absolutely vital to our success. I started out by saying 20 to 22% of our volume moves in and out of Charleston via rail. Everything else comes in and out of Charleston via truck. Very vital to our existence, very important to us, and we value the role that they play. Also keep in mind that they're critical to the success of this facility. This facility, while it can be fed by other intermodal yards around the country, it is fed locally by the trucking industry and supported very heavily by the trucking industry. So the trucking community that's here, let me just say thank you to them as well. Yes, there have. In fact, DOT, through their Freight Advisory Council, have done studies as part of their required process to update their transportation plan specific to freight. Where's the freight coming from? What are the heavy freight corridors? How is it moving from A to B? What role does Greer, but not just Greer, does Georgetown, does the Port of Charleston play in the movement of freight? Keeping in mind that what moves through this corridor is not exclusive to us. It's not exclusive to the Port of Charleston. It could be domestic moves. It could be moves moving down our interstate systems to other ports. And so, yes, we are mapping that along with our partners at DOT to understand those networks. When you look at it from a DOT perspective, it's simply put, they're trying to identify those corridors that they're going to have to continue to focus on in the future as growth occurs. Also keep in mind that the users of the inland port are not limited to South Carolina operations. We do have cargo coming in from North Carolina and going to North Carolina. I mentioned Eastman Chemical a few minutes ago. That cargo is coming in from Kingsport, Tennessee. So it's certainly not limited to our footprint, but we are paying attention to where it's coming from and working with our partners on that. We're investing a lot of money in our ability to move freight. If you look at the next 5 years of the Port of Charleston, we're investing as a port about $1.3, $1.4 billion.
We're really blessed with the fact that since we own the property, there wasn't any rush to develop anything. There still isn't a rush to develop anything. We can be very picky, very choosy about the type of developments that we're going to entertain on airport property, and it does give us that opportunity to pick the best projects and wait for the best projects. So I know sometimes that's frustrating to some in the development community because they'd like to come out and do deals and build stuff right away. But for us, it really is about getting the right fit of the right project, not only for the airport but for the community. We think we have a fiduciary duty to the community to make sure that when we're bringing projects to the community that they are projects that are going to be of high value, high number of jobs, well-paying jobs, increase the average per capita income here in our community. And so those are the types of projects that we're really going to look for and wait for. You see this big purple track out here, and a lot of people, especially in the development community, kind of salivate over that particular track because there's not too many of those in and around the upstate. That's a track that we're going to be very, very choosy about. It's 750 acres of gross property, 450 acres of, we think, of developable property. We're really seeking, again, a manufacturing type of operation there that would create, thousands of jobs and well-paying jobs, not necessarily, a development in there that is of, not that it's not needed in the community, but it could be anywhere else. It doesn't have to be on that property. In particular, that property in purple gives us a capability to extend our taxiway connection to there. So we'd love to see an aviation project, manufacturing project in that location. And we're doing our due diligence around the country of trying to look at various aircraft manufacturers that might be looking for a location either to relocate or open up a new operation. So as far as some of the particular on the cargo side, we talked a little bit about this connection potentially between the inland port and air cargo at some point in the future. We're trying to land scheduled all cargo service to Europe. And we've been working on that for 3 or 4 years. We're right in the middle of that again in working with some logistics operators that are going to be trying to win that contract, in particular to move freight, and it varies from 2 747s a week to 5 wide-body aircraft a week that can be coming in and out of GSP on a long-haul basis. That would have the kind of impact on the cargo side for us in the upstate and for us at GSP as Southwest Airlines had incoming and starting passenger operations in March of 2000.
That being said, we absolutely have to continue to grow our cargo base. If we're going to grow as a port, if we're going to support the infrastructure we're putting in place, we have absolutely got to grow our cargo base. So we will continue to aggressively go after companies that we would consider might be discretionary cargo, meaning they can move their cargo in a number of different manners to a number of different ports. We'll continue to work with our allied network to recruit companies that are port dependent. But that's going to be critical to our success is growing our cargo base.
Jack Ellenberg,